Yo, what's up guys? We're back on All the Mods 10 and today we're going to be finishing out Chapter 1 and diving into Chapter 2. So let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first, we're going to start with the Wither to finish out Chapter 1, just because I feel like it's probably going to be easier than the Dragon. So we are going to set up a way to get Wither Skeleton skulls with our loot fabricator. So we're going to get a Wither Skeleton prediction. Somewhere in here is going to be a fortress, probably by Young's. Yeah, there we go, Young's Fortress. And we got 1,000 blocks this way, so we'll head off that way. Alright, so here we are, a terrible fortress. Hopefully we can, there we go, look at this guy. You right there are what we need. Let's go ahead and get this in our deep learner. Alright, we need 6 of these guys, so hopefully we can find a good bit of them here. Probably just have to wait a little bit for some spawns to kind of start hitting. Here's our 3rd, our 4th, our 5th, and our 6th seems to have some other stuff too. Let's kill this guy really quick. A little backpack. Check what's in this thing. And I got a trophy as well. Bunch of nothing. Now another quick stop in these young fortresses is this kind of main building here. As you can see, there's a ton of these loot barrels. I don't think there's actually usually anything decent in here. And then a glove, some random enchantment stuff, but a whole bunch of loot in these. We'll go through all of these really quickly, just kind of grab anything that looks super interesting. I think maybe some better loot kind of on top of the castle pieces here. Nope. Nothing really too great. Also nothing too interesting. You can also go down into these fortresses, which I might have been down that has the better loot. We'll check it out really quick. Very far down apparently. Just kind of it just keeps going here. We'll see if anything halfway decent down here. Yeah, so you got the whole nother kind of place down here. I'm not sure if there's, I'm pretty sure there's loot somewhere down here. Here we go. And absolutely awful. This one was a little bit better. Nothing really too crazy, obviously, but a couple little things. This is also pretty interesting. These little kind of storage areas, they put little things, so you can sit here and pick up some things off of their shelves here. Still nothing great, but a little something. Alright, although doing that did give me enough fragments for a ton of skulls, I'm still going to go ahead and do the predictions, just so we can kind of see this. Pretty simple. You get your predictions and then a bunch of skulls. You can also get bones, coal, ribs, and skull fragments. But now that we have a bunch of these skulls, we'll go ahead and grab some soul sand and find a nice little place to see if we can get this wither. Alright, so I was just going back through and looking at everything, and as it turns out, the past couple of things that I've done, somehow my microphone got disconnected from OBS. So the clips of fighting the Wither and the Ender Dragon and also going and finding the Aluminium smithing template, for some reason all do not have my microphone on them. So I'm going to quickly play those clips and just kind of voice over what's going on, and then we're going to get farther into all of these items and a couple more things. Alright, so I went ahead and found a pretty good spot way out in the wilderness, a couple thousand blocks away from the base, just so that I don't really destroy anything too close to home. Got plenty of wither skulls from the simulator. We go ahead and have our framework and our deep learner. It's going to be 6 total withers to be able to get the model framework to run the simulations for the withers. So I am going to quickly run through 6 of these. It's not too bad a fight at all, especially with the jetpack. The wither really likes to fly super high up and just kind of try and avoid you, but with the jetpack it just can't really go anywhere. And that makes these fights pretty simple, along with the
super sharp Supremium sword. There's the first one already gone. Pretty simple fight. I think maybe some of them I ate some of the golden apples just so I didn't die to the wither effect. The rewards are not too interesting. We start to see a lot of different voodoo puppets, but not super interesting things. Small little gifts of really bad enchantment books, some scrolls, and obviously the wither star. I'm going to quickly run through the next 5 of them, just like the last hit or 2. So there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and then the last one right there. So that's going to be all that we need for the deep learner so that we can run the simulation. I got a couple of wither trophies, obviously all 6 wither stars. And now that we have the simulation, we can just throw that right in the chamber and we can just print nether stars. So pretty useful there. Not too bad a fight at all. I was expecting a little bit more out of the all the mods 10 wither, but not bad at all. Obviously the area that we're in absolutely destroyed, but that's why I did it thousands of blocks away from the base. But yeah. Alright, so we have just one thing left on our Chapter 1 skill tree, and that is just the dragon egg. So we're going to slowly make our way towards the end portal. This wasn't too bad of a process. Obviously, life is a billion times easier with the jetpack. I don't even think it was really that far away. And we also have some Aldemodium stuff that will come with the end. Again, this was not far away at all. We're already right above the temple here. I made an excess amount of Ender Eyes because I was really expecting to be 10,000-12,000 blocks away. It really wasn't. I was expecting to have to use a lot of the Ender Eyes. I wasn't sure how the portal was, but there was an absolutely beautiful village directly next to the portal. It did take a minute to find. It was at like a weird level, kind of like sideways as well. Where the eye dropped, there wasn't any of the actual dungeon, so we had to kind of mine sideways and kind of figure it out. But between vein mining and the hammer and whatnot, it wasn't too shabby. I spent quite a lot of time getting this this block here just because the blue just really looked absolutely crazy. I'm sure there's something good we'll build with that. I'll probably go back for more at some point. That'll be something that will be super useful for. Plus with our backpack stack, you can fit, I think we have 2,000 items per slot in the backpack, and the backpack is massive. So block holding is not really very much of a difficult thing at all. The portal was like a jump away. It wasn't directly connected to the rest of the dungeon, which was super weird. Luckily you could see it on the map, but the doorway that was supposed to be leading into the dungeon, as you can see here, had a wall covering it. So that was kind of super weird. Luckily the minimap really shows the dungeon room pretty simply. If you're at the same Y level, it shows the whole Y level kind of everywhere. It scoots the minimap down to that Y level, and it was pretty easy to pick out. And it was completely empty, so I guess I'm kind of glad I made a few Ender Eyes. It was definitely a very well-built end. I'll probably shut up and let you guys watch the loading in process. I believe I had to go defend a raid at the camp really quick, which was really unfortunate. It was really bad timing for that, but we got back and took out all of these people first. They're getting pretty intense at this level of like the colony mod. There's like 30 or 40 raiders, and they get upgraded gear and upgraded tools. So I need to seriously upgrade some of the encampment's defenses and maybe some more barracks. But finally to the end. The portal kind of had some problems with going in and coming out. But I'm presuming that's just because the end is so large. I think I'm going to shut up now and let you guys watch the kind of island loading in. It's a complete animation of the dragon spawning in and whatnot. Pretty cool. so as you can see, each one of the pillars kind of customly loads in as, and it, it goes around and spawns in. I thought that was pretty cool. I missed a lot of these end crystals, and I also didn't realize how much damage they actually do. I was a little reluctant to smack them at first, and this one didn't do any damage, so I kind of went along and started hitting them. And then I found out how much damage they actually do, even though I'm wearing the really good armor. As you can see, I popped down to like 3 hearts there, so took a minute and healed back up and shot the rest of the crystals. The fight isn't anything crazy. The Ender Dragon has 200 HP. The sword does really good work on it if you can get close enough. The Ender Dragon really likes to hit you if you can hit him. So it was a lot of really just chasing him around. And with the way the center post was built, whenever he landed in the center, you couldn't hit him with a bow because it would just run into the blocks. So it was pretty much an all-sword fight. As you can see here, it just kind of hits the blocks. So I'm just going to speed through me chasing him around. And then we'll come back. And the final shot right there. As you can see, there's a lot of just chasing him around. He just smacks you away anytime you get close. I believe right here is the moment that I realized that I didn't bring a torch or anything with me. Got some scales, some different end items. And obviously, we have to get the egg. Luckily, the end has some custom mods of its own. And I was just right here, I was trying to plot through and kind of figure out what exactly I'm going to do. There's some modded flowers. I don't know if they're from Botania or what they're from. Usually the end portal has torches around it. It didn't. And obviously, I don't believe the bell works. I'm not sure, though. So I started kind of just looking around for whatever. And it ended up being one of these flowers from Nature's Aura, actually. And that is like a solid block, but also kind of like a torch thing at the same time. So that was pretty nice that those were in there, because I would have to go back and then come back and go back and come back. And that would have been ever so slightly annoying. But we went ahead and got the egg. That's the last mission for Chapter 1, minus the sniffer, which I have probably put at least a dozen hours into looking for the sand in the deep oceans. Quick run through of the credits and whatnot. Pretty standard stuff. It didn't teleport me back when I went in the portal. This was quite a long process. It played the credits, and then I was just still standing in the portal. I had to completely reload my game. I tried logging out and logging back in. That didn't work. I had to completely reload the game up. But it wasn't that big of a problem. But I thought that was kind of odd. All right, so we're back in. Everything just worked completely normal this time. I restarted the game and came back in, and it just teleported me right back to my bed. I don't know what exactly went on with the portal. It was just having some problems. And then loading the server and teleporting back from the end all at the same time kind of had some loading things. But here's where we went ahead and found all the Modium smithing template. Pretty easy find. You just go to the ancient cities, and the suspicious clay is pretty obvious. As you can see kind of here, it's a very obvious clay. You smack one of those, and you get all the Modium smithing template. So that's pretty nice.
Alright, so the first kind of system that we have set up here is going to be specifically for the nether stars. We already have a good bit kind of come out of this, plus some more that's in here. But the basic idea is prediction matrices up top here. These are going to feed into the simulation chamber with the Wither data model. That's going to run, and then we have some modular routers back here that are going to take the prediction matrices, put them into here, and then this is just a hopper upgrade in a barrel that pulls out all of our generalized predictions. So the generalized predictions will go in here. This here is just two simple puller and sender. So this is going to take it from... everything feeds into the barrel, and the modular router is connected to the barrel, not the simulation chamber. But you have the barrel here, so this is gonna pull, and then this is gonna send to the loot fabricator, and we'll watch one here really quick. So it'll send this over. Yep, so there's the wither prediction with nether star, and then obviously we have all of these nether stars now. It's pretty fast. There's definitely quicker ways, and there's a bunch of, there's soul stuff that we can do to boost all of this. Right now, as it is, I mean, that was just not even really that long, and that's 1,800 nether stars. These pump out pretty quickly. You just got to keep it full with some of these prediction matrices. But this is pretty much the setup that's going to stay around for quite some time for the nether stars. I will momentarily, we'll do it right now actually. We'll take a import bus and some of our wire, which we might have to grab a little bit more of. I don't know if we have any cable at all. Here we go. We'll take an import bus and throw this onto the system somehow. I'm not sure how we're going to do this. Alright, I think for the time being, this is a little bit crude, but I think this is what we're going to do for now. So we've got ourselves the import bus right here with the nether stars, and then we have this here. Got to reselect that, and then this should pull right out of here. Yeah, perfect. So now we just have the nether stars going right into the ME system. As you can see here, do this. So 811, 812, and that'll keep going. So now this is fully automated, other than the prediction matrices, which we might set up maybe some type of limiter torch and set those to autocraft on a limiter torch. Not really a right now situation. These matrices are fairly simple to make. You just sit here and click 1,000 of them, and they just spit out. Everything under these are very simple to set into your autocraft. I can actually look at that really quickly. So here's the autocraft for that. It's just glass panes, iron, clay. The clay comes from the dirt and the water. Obviously, the glass panes are just glass panes, which these can be automated through, furnace and whatnot. So not too bad. Definitely going to be optimized a little bit more in the near future. I just don't really want to build a super permanent system right here, right now. But, and maybe I'll reorganize this a little bit more to make it look a little bit better, because it's a little funky right now. So I was just flying back over to my house really quick. I went out to get some feathers, and this is the first time I've died in a long time. But, yeah. Bunch of levels, bunch of stuff, but that's the first time I've died in a long time. I just came over here and just as I was about to hit the ground, turned off my jetpack, and yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. Yeah, not bueno. All right, so enough with the dying. We are going to set up our system for our dragon egg, and these will be the only 5 items that we need right here. I think we're just going to throw it in this corner. So it's pretty simple. It's just egg, extractor, and then whatever type of chest you want to use. I hate that it's going to sit one direction. Maybe I'll switch that. But this should hopefully just produce here. Let's see. It might not like the inventory that's on top of it. That's a possibility. It might also not like being next to things. Let's try and put a drawer on top of it really quick, and then if not, we'll move it somewhere more centered. Yeah, so we're going to move it somewhere more centered. Alright, so I have figured out that I had it a little bit backwards here. So
we're going to, and I'm actually going to move it into like the center point. I feel like that might be kind of interesting. But we're going to throw this like that. Get rid of this block here. Fill back in the cobblestone. And there we go. So now this will start to slowly fill up with dragon eggs. So yeah, it was backwards. So your extracting item is on the top, and the gold kind of connector piece is what actually connects to the chest or whatever you have placed. Alright, so just a couple of minutes in here, and we already have ourselves 60 of these eggs, so that's pretty nice. It's not super fast, but I mean, it's a lot of dragon eggs. So we're going to throw those back there, and then there's one more thing that we need to get here, and that is going to be the dimension card for all dimension loading of our AE system, so that I can use my terminal wherever we go. So now that we have this whole thing set up, it's all fairly simple. Just 4 nether stars, 4 of these range boosters, and an eye vendor. And then we can go ahead and throw this in our little access point. Make sure that's all linked up, and as you can see, infinite meters, all dimensions. And that is so that we can head off to the end, which is, I think, somewhere off this direction. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to pop in here really quick, and if this loads at any point in time, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves our, let's see here, our data model for the Ender Dragon. So it should just be 6 kills, which isn't going to be too terribly bad. It's just going to take just a little bit, but the dragon doesn't have too much HP in this. I believe it's 200, so not bad at all when it comes to having to kill something 6 times. But yeah, I just need to make sure to actually grab it. I always forget to actually grab this thing whenever I'm trying to get my data models. This is just going to be this animation. Oh, I'm gonna have to wait for him to come down. Or maybe I can grab him. We'll see. There it goes. Alright, so now we can go ahead and kill this guy. The longest part probably is just going to be the animations, but it's not going to be too terribly bad. Oh. Okay. I might need to remake some of my armor. I did not at all think that one end crystal from like 5 or 6 blocks away would have one-shot me, but I guess most of my armor is broken. So I guess that might have something to do with it. I don't even know which ones are left. I think just this one. Most of my armor is broken, and there's not really it's not really very good to begin with, so definitely going to be sourcing myself some new armor after a couple of these fights. This seems to be going a lot better than the first one. The first one, the bow is definitely the move, because chasing him around over and over again, trying to hit him with the sword, was not fun at all. But I think he reflects some of the bow shots, but I'm not sure. But very quickly there is already one dragon. So just there we go. Oh, I lied. You only need to get 2 of them. So data collected, 3 out of 6, and data per kill is 3. So we're only going to actually have to get 2 of the dragons to get a basic model. I'm going to see what it is after that, because it'd be nice to, I mean, I don't mind sitting here and killing the dragon a couple times if it levels up the model a little bit faster. Because doing that in the actual prediction matrix is not fun at all. It takes quite some time. So I'm going to see how many it is once it's already a basic data model, and we'll go from there. I did make sure to bring torches with me this time, so I'm not going to be searching around for some random flowers. Look at that. Alrighty, and then here is the second one. And I did not pick up half of the stuff. Alright, hopefully I got all the stuff from the first one. I'm not entirely sure where all of it dropped, but... Alright, it replaces the bell. I had no clue. I would have come up and grabbed that. Alright, so now that we have that, it's 12 per kill and 48. I do have the crystals on me, so maybe I'll just go ahead and run through it. Plus, we want the miniature green hearts. The scales are 50-50, but what in the world? These scales are much, much better. So, yeah, we're going to do it just a couple more times really quickly here. It doesn't take very long at all, so there's no reason not to. It'll save probably 20 to 30 minutes on time inside of the prediction matrix to actually get it up to whatever the next level is. So we're just going to do this really quick. Alright, here's another one. And here is another one. And we have 2 more. I went ahead and dug out the surrounding area just to make this a little bit easier. At least I did last time. I guess it comes back, but whatever. So I will not be digging that out, I guess. I did not think that it would rebuild itself. Huh. Alright. I decided not to break the end crystals this time. I think it might be faster to just shoot him than actually... I did break a couple, but he just stayed over here the whole time healing off of these, and I think it might just be faster to just kill him instead of flying around and trying to hit all of the end crystals. Because it doesn't heal very fast. So... Alright, here is our last one. Yeah, it's definitely a lot faster just if you keep all the end crystals and just sit here and hit them. Yeah, I have to shoot a single end crystal just straight up, and there we go. Now we have to kill him 10 times to get the next tier, but it's at 22% accuracy, so I think I'll just leave it, and I'll let the prediction matrix kind of build it up the rest of the way, kind of how I did with the wither. I'm not going to take the time to pick up all those eggs, but yeah. So now we can throw this in here. Well, we can throw this in here. And that succeeded, so we'll get the dragon, and then we can get some dragon's breath fairly simply. Now we could just leave this in here and let this run. Another success, so we'll see it pop in here. It should be auto-selected, and 16 more dragon's breath. Very cool, very cool. So this opens up a couple more things for us, not too much. The head, which can be extracted for dragon's breath, which we'll set up in just a moment. Oh, hold on. Oop, there we go. The actual add-on star, which is bat wings. That's pretty interesting. Faster work mode for the quarry. Jet boots. Draco Arcanus arrows. Lingering for just our things. The void shimmer goo for just our things, which we have not really gotten into at all. Lingering water bottles with no effects. Not sure. Oh, so the dragon's breath just makes it lingering. Okay. Infused dragon's breath. Some stuff for the Ars Nouveau, some more Ars Nouveau, generator stuff, chemistry. It's the same crafts, but through mine colonies, ritual summoners through oculism. This is also going to be a big one for us. So this is probably going to be the next setup. I'm going to have to look and see if these bees teleport the same as the ender productive bees. If so, that might be a little bit of a problem. Some Roots Classic spell powder. Some cauldron stuff. Create. ATM. You can put in 40,000 source, 12,000 XP fluid and get that automatically. Potion mixing and infused dragon's breath, which is also what's actually needed for the dragon soul. I thought the dragon soul was, oh, so it is infused. Okay. This is pretty easy to set up on an enchantment table. I don't know if we need to go through and do all of these things. We could do the modern industrialization, but I don't think it's that important. It's pretty easy to set up a enchanter that has 80 Eterna, 15 to 30 Quanta, and 60 Arcana. Let's see if we can look at some of these bookshelves. Ooh. Not sure which ones. Yeah, so it's looking like we're gonna have to get some weird ones to be able to get the. Also, just like most of the time to get the Quanta, like I know candles. There's some type of candles that give. I think you can actually just type in Quanta and it'll show. Yeah, so here we go. So like the strategy for this would be putting, so this gives you 100. You need like call it 25 or 20 or whatever. So you put the B shelf and then some shelf, or even just this. You put, a couple skulk shelves or end shelves, things like this. These are pretty easy to set up. Other than you need the dragon's breath to do that, of course. So, but yeah, definitely we'll look into that shortly because obviously the infused dragon's breath is very important when it comes to actually playing the pack. So we'll get something like this set up pretty soon here. But I'm also gonna throw the dragon's breath inside of here. So that auto exports into the ME system.
Alright, so I've actually changed my mind on where I want these. I'm going to take them out of the center of the room. Get back our center lamp really quick. I'm going to go ahead and put them off on the side here, now that we're going to also run the dragon head. So, same process. Extractors. Break the top block, we got the egg, and we have the head. So both of these are going to slowly but surely run everything through. I think the dragon's breath is going to be a little bit faster than the egg. Yeah. So, yeah, every 10 seconds. So these are just going to sit here and run. Eventually, I'm going to connect these into the ME system. I don't know if I'm going to use a storage connector or an actual import bus, but for now, I mean, it's a huge netherite barrel. This will be just fine for the time being, but yeah. Alright, so we obviously learned from the dragon fight that my armor was no longer cutting it, so I went ahead and got all of these stuff together, and we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a new set of armor, because I definitely do not want to die to an end crystal again, because that was just that was rough. So we're gonna go ahead and get all of this, and I went ahead and stacked all of these up just so there's no chance that I accidentally destroy one and I have to go find another one. So I went ahead and made a whole bunch of these smithing templates. We also just got a whole bunch of things done. Oh, I completely forgot my pickaxe. Grab one of these. Alright, we will add all the modium ingots. Oh. Yes, because I'm using the silent gear. Do we have... No. Okay. Alright, well, let's do this. We'll grab a diamond pickaxe, and we will just go ahead and make a new pick. I'm sure there's some type of way. I'll have to look really quick. I'm not sure what there is in this pack to be able to remove enchantments, but I'm sure it will not be all too bad at all. Alright, so there's that. And we got a whole bunch of quests done, I'm sure. Yes, all the tools. I haven't made any of the other sets yet, but oh, you also get a mace. The next goal is definitely, obviously, vibranium, and I think we're going to be in the other for that. But I'm going to go ahead and get all of this enchanted up really quick. Alright, so I got Protection 7 on the entire set, and Fortune 7 on the pickaxe. Now it is all unbreakable, so there's no need for unbreaking, so I'm kind of trying to decide what exactly I want on it. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I think I'm gonna think about that and maybe kind of look into some different kind of enchants that you can build up on this armor. But I think that's gonna be it for today. So I will catch you guys next time.